Hi, happy Thursday. Everybody try to come together, love everybody right now. I totally messed that song up, didn't I? Well, it sounded good in my head. Not really, but I tried. I'm coming to you raw and live and with a cigarette in my hand because I want you to know that even though I try and detox everything in my life, I'm still hanging on to my little crutch. Um, and I guess I want you to see that because it's who I truly am. And I'm not up here saying detox, 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 and I'm perfect because no one's perfect. And the detoxing is you do it because it makes you feel better, And when you start really doing it, then I guess since I've detoxed everything else in my life, I can still tolerate these. I don't know. And I'll work on it, just not right now. I thought I was going to, but I'm not right now. I just wanted y'all to know that it's a process. It's a journey. It's not a change everything right now today. I mean, you would flood your brain with a wealth of information overload, just understanding why you were doing the things you were doing to begin with. Does that make sense? I don't always make sense. I'm titling today's video Life Without Fear. Living Without Fear. I'm going to tell you a story about what happened to me today because it's beautiful. It's magical. I almost don't even believe it happened, but it did. So, my dog is bringing his ball. My dog's bringing me his balls. He's give it to mommy. He's bringing me his toys because he wants to play his ball. Because he wants to. And I suck at throwing them. But, my love potion number 9. It's organic tea and local raw honey. So I'm doing a healthy global healing center parasite detox right now, and I just added this. And believe it or not, this is iodine, and it's really hard for me to take. The taste, it disagrees with me, but I do. I take it once or twice a day. And this parasite cleanse has got me all kinds of crazy emotional. Like, I cry a lot. Not cry like I'm not weeping because I'm sad. They're like overwhelming tears of understanding and synchronicities. So I feel my thought is when we start living on the righteous path, and when I say righteous, I mean you're righteous, not my idea of righteous or your neighbor's idea of righteous or your pastor's idea of righteous, but your idea of righteous. Once you walk within your righteousness, and if you don't know what right and wrong is, I just don't believe that. I believe everybody knows. I don't care if you can talk, see, hear, smell. It doesn't matter. You still know. And this world has so many labels on it. And we judge so much. And I get judged a lot. I don't care. I mean, I've never really cared. I'm a pretty raw, abrasive person, and I just kind of speak what's on my mind, and I've never cared if it seemed unladylike to people or whatever. I mean, I poop, I pee. Those are just bodily functions. We all do them. So, but my judgment and my fear crept back in today. After my lovely, awesome number 13 colonic on the full moon, first full moon of 2017, which is tonight. You know, I'm doing my energy road trips, and I just don't think a tent is going to cut it with my Bruno, because he's a big boy, and he, you know, if he wants out of that tent, he's getting out. So, my baby, mommy's baby. So, I am looking at RVs, and because a big part of my journey is going to be self-administering coffee clonics 3 times a week, and so I kind of need a place to do that. So an RV makes sense, because I don't want to take my dogs out on energy road trips to be free and see the world and hike and be out with nature, to when I'm working on a wolf farm, leave this one in a crate because he'd tear down my tent. I mean, it's a dog. He doesn't know. He doesn't understand. So, he's so cute. Oh, he's the prettiest boy, Mommy. Got all his toys here. Anyway, so there was an RV listed for like $3,000, and it was older, you know, but it still only has 80,000 miles, and it's not like anybody's out joyriding in an RV. So it's a carbureted engine. I can work on that a lot easier than I can a fuel injected engine. Plus, I can get my hands in there, and I know how to work on them. So I was like, rock on, you know, rock on, Pyromania. But this particular one, I live in the St. Louis area, and there are parts of town that are bad, or you shouldn't go, or you shouldn't go alone, or the color of my skin shouldn't be in that area, whatever. Fear. So I decided to go look at it today after my clonic, so it was right down the street from where, well, not right down the street, but it wasn't too far from where my clonic was. Okay, I just put on some Burt Bees lip gloss, and he's trying to eat it. Anyway, so I knew once I got past like Forest Park and all these places in the city that I was getting into some, you know, different territory, let's just say. And I let judgment, being judgmental, or I guess fearful, because it wasn't a feeling of love, joy, or bliss. So we've been programmed to believe maybe I shouldn't be in this part of town, you know. So I saw the RV, and I pulled up, and I text the person, and I'm like, you know, I'm here. And he's like, go in and ask for Kay. And I'm like, well, I'm sitting outside. It's like 30 degrees. Can someone just meet me outside and show me the RV? And it looked like it had a leak in the roof. So I was like, screw it. I'm just going to leave because of where I'm at. And here comes this guy out to the car, and he was on his phone, so I guess he was talking to the other guy about showing me the RV. And he was like, oh, the person took off with the keys, and da-da-da-da-da, and they won't be back till 1. Well, that would have been nice if they would have told me before I drove out there, but there was a reason I went. And I'm so glad I didn't leave. Because that young man that I met today, is probably the greatest enlightenment I have had on this journey. And I was just tearful as I left and made that realization that I would have missed that hour or so of my life that I spent with Casey. And we started talking about the RV and my car and stuff, and I was like talking about our dogs, and he has an Akita and a pit bull, and told him, you know, why I wanted to go on the journeys and stuff like that. And he's like, you gotta read something. You wanna read something I wrote? And I'm like, I'd love to. And because he was like, we were talking and really engaged in this conversation that we both were like on the same vibration. And we sitting in his car, and you know, he doesn't smoke, but I'm like, well, you want to sit in my car? And he's like, I don't care if you smoke in my car. I was like, okay. And I'm just reading this beautiful, short thesis, summary, thought on who we are, where we came from, what is consciousness, and that we're all just love. And I know I talk so much in my videos and I gotta cut it short because I only have 4 minutes, and I looked at him and I said, how do you live like that, in that frame of mind, living in the city? And I didn't mean it as a color thing or as a where in the city you live thing. I meant it as the grid, the matrix, the doctors and the Walgreens and the TV and the keeping up with the Joneses. And it kind of dawned on me that a lot of people in the inner city are very in touch with consciousness and very in touch with other things besides the matrix, like people maybe out in the country are, because it's those suburbs, it's that like lap around the city that engulfs the city. That's the matrix. To keeping up with the Joneses. What kind of TV do I have? What kind of car do I drive? What kind of this? What kind of that? What kind of clothes am I wearing? What kind of perfume do I wear? What kind of lip gloss am I wearing? It's a matrix. It's a separation matrix. And I've never really been a prejudiced person. And something happened in my life, in my consciousness, my field of consciousness, back in 2009, and I became bitter towards certain people. And that was the best hour I've spent in so long. I can't, maybe my whole life. And as I sat in the car and I was listening to him talking and reading his thing at the same time, what started us on it, we were talking about something and said God, and I said, God is such a small word to me. It's such a tiny, tiny word for all that is, and God is all of us, everything, not just us humans, but everything together is part of this collective consciousness, and we are just little avatar eyeball bodies that get to view it. And as he was talking after I read, I just closed my eyes and got absorbed from his energy and let what he was saying just filter into my consciousness stream. And we exchanged numbers because it was just that deep. And I don't do a lot of classes because I feel like we all can remember everything we need to know that anybody can teach us. But I do think going to a class or a seminar now and then, it introduces you to like-minded people, or maybe an idea that'll click, that'll turn on your remembering. And not only that, but it turned out that maybe the roof was a little bad, but there was a guy that worked there, and then he knew of, and one other person that are selling RVs. So it's 3 more RVs I get to go look at. And I had the best conversation I've ever had in my entire life. So with that, I say, don't fear what you might miss out on, even an hour of your life that will impact you so immensely because of fear is not worth it. With that, I leave you. I love you. Peace and love, love and light. I will catch you all on the flip side. Bye.